Summary of the Chrysalids by John Wyndham. In the beginning of the Chrysalids, David and his sister Mary Storm talk about David's dream of a city he has never seen. Mary tells him not to tell anyone about the dream because it is best not to stand out in Wacknock, where they live. When David meets Sophie, who has 6 toes, this turns out to be good advice. The Wacknockian faith says that anyone whose body doesn't fit the definition of man is blasphemy and must be sterilized and sent away. This belief is based on the idea that God makes man in his own image, and since God never makes mistakes, anyone who doesn't look like the image of God can't be a man and must be the work of the devil. David has been taught this meaning, but he hasn't taken it to heart, and he doesn't see anything wrong with Sophie having 6 toes. He tries to keep her safe, but a boy named Alan sees her 6-toed footprint and tells the police about it. Sophie and her family have to leave, and David learns to pay attention to things that are different from the routine. Even though David looks normal, he is also a blasphemy. David and a group of 8 other people can talk to each other through telepathy or thought pictures. When David is young, he doesn't realize how dangerous this ability could be. However, when he talks to his uncle Axel, he learns that David would be treated badly because of this ability. Uncle Axel is a kind, fair man who doesn't agree with many parts of the Wacknockian religion. He supports David even though it is against the law to do so. Joseph, David's father, on the other hand, is a strict follower who will go after anyone, even family, who doesn't follow the rules. Years later, Emily, David's mother, has a daughter named Petra, who is given a certificate of normalcy. Her sister Harriet also has a baby around the same time, but her child is different. When Harriet asks Emily if she can switch her child with Petra's for a few days so she can get a certificate, Emily and Joseph say no and kick Harriet out of their house. The next day, she kills herself. David and the other telepaths get to know each other better as they get older. They learn each other's names and form friendships. David is in a relationship with his half-cousin Rosalind. And another member of their group decides that she wants to marry Alan, who is not a telepath and was the one who reported Sophie for being different. And goes through with the marriage, even though the rest of the group is against it. Uncle Axel kills Alan when he finds out that she told Alan about everyone's ability in the group. He does this to stop Alan from telling anyone else. When and hears that her husband has died, she kills herself. David is worried about his skills after these 2 deaths, but he only has to do something to protect himself because of his sister, Petra. Petra's telepathic skills are very strong, but she is still too young to be able to control them or even use them on purpose. Petra rides her pony into the bush one day, and a wild animal attacks her. She doesn't know it, but she sends out very strong distress signs that make everyone in the group come running to her. The group knows that being seen together is a bad idea, but before they can split up, a guy named Jerome Skinner sees David, Rosalind, Catherine, and Sally standing around Petra. He starts to wonder how they could have all known she was hurt. Soon after, Catherine and Sally are taken by the government, and David, Rosalind, and Petra have to run away to the fringes, which is an area outside of Wacknock where blasphemies and deviations are allowed to dwell. Michael, Mark, and Rachel, who are also telepaths but have not been named by the government, stay behind to help the fugitives escape by giving them information. Petra makes touch with a woman in a place called Zealand, or sometimes Sealand, which is very far away. She tells them that she is coming to save them and that Petra must be kept safe at all costs. As Rosalind, David, and Petra go deeper into the fringes, a group of men captures them and takes them to their boss, Gordon. Gordon is the brother of Joseph Storm and the uncle of David. He is angry that he was sent away because his arms and legs were too long. He wants to get back at Joseph and Wacknock. Sophie is in a relationship with Gordon. David hasn't seen her in years, but she helps Rosalind, David, and Petra escape from his camp. Sophie lets the people who are running away hide in her cave from the Wacknockian troops who are after them. In the end, Gordon leads a fight between the Wacknockians and the fringe people. Gordon kills Joseph Storm. Then, both he and Sophie die in battle. As the fight goes on, the woman from New Zealand comes in a spaceship that drops thin strands of plastic on the battlefield below. When these strands are pushed, they shrink and freeze everyone on the ground. The New Zealander woman frees Rosalind, David, Petra, and Michael, who has come to help, from the plastic, but she lets it smother everyone else on the battlefield. She tells the group that it's normal for one species to grow stronger and take over another, and that's why she doesn't feel bad about killing these people. Michael decides to go back to Wacknock to find Rachel, and the woman takes Rosalind, David, and Petra back to Zealand, where everyone can talk to each other mentally.
About the author. Wyndham grew up outside of Birmingham. When he was 8 years old, he started going to prep schools. Wyndham started writing short stories and serial fiction after he graduated. Wyndham worked as an editor for the Ministry of Information and a cipher for the Royal Corps of Signals during World War II. After the war, he went back to writing. Vivian Bainton Harris, Wyndham's brother, was also a famous author. Wyndham married Grace Wilson in 1963 and then went to Petersfield, Hampshire, where he died. Wyndham is best known for creating a type of science fiction called logical fantasy, or speculative fiction, which is more realistic than other types of science fiction because it uses current trends to predict the future. The Day of the Triffids is Wyndham's most famous book, but many people think that The Chrysalids is his best.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.